Hello, and my name is Kathryn, and I'm the chair of RDaSH. We are here in Scunthorpe, at the Baths Hall in Scunthorpe, for our board meeting in public on Burns Night on the 25th of January. And just a few things really that of importance that have come out of, well, in fact, there's been a very good board meeting this morning, some really big items and some really good in-depth discussion. So we started with some colleagues from North Lincolnshire, including one of our colleagues who is a joint appointment between the Council and South Yorkshire ICB, but looking at the integration of health and social care across quite a small part of North Lincolnshire South. They've divided the area up into 5 neighbourhoods, and they're doing some pilot work in North Lincolnshire South. Very impressive, really good to see colleagues coming together on behalf of the patient to look at a more holistic, integrated approach in a small part of this county. So we started off in a really, really good way, and thank you to those who presented this morning. We've looked at our gender pay gap, people who understand this need to make sure that for the men and women that we employ, that we are fair in there always is, unfortunately, a little bit of a gap between women and men, and it all comes down to, what grades men and women are in. And we have some work to do, but we've acknowledged that, and we'll look to keep that gap reducing as we take that work forward. I'm going to refer to notes again because we've had a very big board meeting this morning, so don't want to miss anything out. We looked at our risk reporting, and people might think, oh, that's flipping boring, isn't it, risk reporting? But actually it's really important that we make sure that we're using our risks, our knowledge of our risks, how we deal with them, to advise our decision making, that we're looking at the right risks, and that we're not just sitting looking at them, but we're absolutely using them to make good decisions. And that was a really good debate during the morning. Looking at the latter part of the meeting, we had 2 really important reports from Richard Chillery, who is our Chief Operating Officer. And I know that Toby has referred to out-of-area placements as part of his vlog this week, but I'm going to just follow that up a little bit. Richard bringing a report to the board around our out-of-area placements, how people end up away from home, what that means, what's causing it, what we can do to bring everybody back to their place so that they're not being treated a long way from their families and where they live. It's really important that we minimise that as much as we can. We really need a 0 for people being out of area. We're not there yet, but a really good debate this morning on how we make that happen, what are the issues we need to tackle, and how we can take that work forward and get that 0 when we look at the numbers that say, how many people have we got out of area? And the answer is none. That's where we aim to be, and a very, very good report from Richard this morning. And adding on to that, a report about what are commonly known as Section 136 suites, but our places of safety, mental health, Sheila Lloyd put it this morning, mental health A&E department, and how they work across our patch, across Rotherham, Doncaster and North Lincolnshire, and how they equally work with 136 suites in places like Sheffield, which are just across the boundary from us. And people do move between them depending on where there are spaces, bed spaces. What is the flow of people into there? How do we make sure that people don't get stuck in those places? And there is quite a bit of work to do, both internally with RDaSH, but equally as a system, to look at how that emergency service works on behalf of the people of our communities. And so the 2 things between out-of-area placements and places of safety are linked. And my thanks to Richard for bringing those 2 very important reports this morning. Just before I finish, just a little thing, really, but very important to us. This is Sheila Lloyd, who is our Deputy Chief Executive and Chief Nurse. This is Sheila's last board meeting. She leaves us at the end of February, so it's not her last meeting, but it's her last board meeting. And she brought us a report today looking at the CQC area known as caring. And we hope we're a caring organisation, of course we do. But Sheila put some real weight behind what does that actually mean? How do we know that we are, we think we're good, but we want to be outstanding? And she brought a very important report this morning. It is, of course, a little sad that this is Sheila's last meeting. She's retiring. But just to pay tribute to her and the role she's played around the board table, she will be missed. And inevitably, when somebody is as big a character as Sheila, there will certainly be a gap where she was. But we look forward to welcoming our new Director of Nursing, to Steve Forsyth, when he arrives. But for today, it's just to say thanks, Sheila, and good luck with every adventure you come into from this point on. Thanks, everybody, and see you in a couple of months.